So I'm coming over to Ronnie's, and I'm like pulling into his road, into his little driveway thing, like back here, like real easy, like not doing any burnouts, and I'm in my truck, so it's real tempting, you know, two-wheel drive, light in the rear. I can spin all over the place and throw dust everywhere. Anyways, I'm being real nice driving. I pull up, Ronnie's with some Subaru friends out here, and they're talking about their Subarus, and the neighbors called the police on me. I don't know if it's because my truck's loud or what, but the day's starting off pretty good. I mean, I consider that a win. Anyways, we're over here at Ronnie's house to look at the differences on these engine bays between the single overhead cam KA in the 240SX and the single overhead cam KA in the Hardbody. We've had some questions posted on our YouTube channel asking us to detail a few of the intricacies of Ronnie's Hardbody. So that's what we're going to do today. Hey Ronnie.
What's going on, guys?
What are we doing today?
I think we're talking about the Hardbody.
We're talking about the Hardbody and the 240. I've already said that. I just wanted to see if you knew what we were doing today.
I know we have some questions that we got to answer.
Right on.
Trying to help some people out, figuring out their issues, even though we still are having a little bit of issues. But the truck does run and drive. We've taken it out, tuned, squared away. We're maxed out on the SAFC, so that's a little bit of a pain. But rising rate fuel pressure regulator will fix that. Fuel management unit, something along those lines. But it still runs. It stays where it needs to be. You know, it's in the low 11s, under boost, wide open. So
sweet.
It's okay.
So I made this janky list right here. What, Levi? You're so dirty. Whatever. Anyways, I made this janky list from all the questions on our YouTube channel. We're going to go ahead and answer some of them. Josh Angel has a 90 Nissan truck. It's turboed. I assume he means a hard body. It's turboed and he's having trouble getting fuel. He wanted to know which AFC you're running, and is it plug and play or does it come with a harness?
It is not plug and play.
Let's go look at it real quick. Let's go look at this.
Come on,
God dang, I gotta go on the other side.
Don't mind the mess. We're trying to fix.
Okay. Ronnie's truck always looks this messy.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey, look, there it is. Pretty.
Yeah. So it's an SAFC 1 or just an SAFC. Nothing special. This is the harness, and it's spliced in to these wires here.
And let's see, how many do you have connected?
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So what are the ones that you don't have connected? It looks like a pink, a blue, an orange.
I don't remember. They did other stuff that the truck can't do, or I didn't need to care about. One is for like an O2 sensor, I think.
Is one teleportation?
One might be teleportation to give your truck even more speed.
Nice.
One I think is VTEC.
I think you're lame for not wanting freaking teleportation on your truck. Okay.
So you have two grounds. You splice into a ground. This green one goes into this white and silver stripes. Down here we have the red one goes into a green and red. This yellow one goes into, it looks like a black and silver, and the white goes into the black and silver going into the harness. The yellow goes into the ECU. So that's splicing your MAF wire most likely, and then adjusting what it's reading up there, and then the rest are all monitoring something. So this is my SAFC. It's the original one, so just a 1. They also make a VAFC, which is for VTEC, but you just don't hook up VTEC, and you can still use that. You can use a 2. I don't know if they make a 3. You can use that. The 2 has some more adjustments that you can make on it. So if you want to spend the money, go with that. But I was able to get this one for $150 versus like $300 for a 2. So.
But they have some new ones out. Like Apex, he has some new ones out, right? Like the SAFC Neo or the AFC Neo or something like that. But yeah,
they have some really crazy ones.
They're like $600, $700, things like that.
And at that point, like if you're gonna spend $500 on it, why not just go with a micro squirt?
Yeah, why not go standalone?
For $350, and you can build yourself a harness. Or for $700, you can get a a Mega Squirt box that plugs into this car. You just get one for a 91, or not a 91, but a 90 or an 89 240SX.
All right, so our next question here is from Wish WSHH WSHH. He said, what is done with the EGR and the other emissions, any other emissions things? Like, how did you deal with that stuff? It looks like you've deleted everything.
Yeah, it's all deleted. Every single last thing is deleted.
So show us where it went.
Let's go look.
All right.
So I wish we had a vehicle that wasn't deleted, but I deleted the crap out of the 242. But like all these wires plugged into something. And it was bolted in here, and there was a bunch of vacuum lines. They're all disconnected. So this truck has literally 2 vacuum lines on it. It has one to go to the boost gauge and to the wastegate, which we'll be changing. The one that goes to the wastegate, which is this one, we're going to put it on the turbo.
Where did you put the one that goes to the boost gauge?
It's just after the throttle body on a nipple down here.
Okay, nipple. I like that word. And then this one goes to the wastegate.
Yeah, this big one goes to the wastegate, which we're going to bring it up and we're going to tap into here and put a fitting there so that we can just run it into the turbo.
You think that's what that little chunky piece is for?
I think so. That's where most of them are when they
Neat.
have an internal gate.
Okay. Where does it go?
It goes to this T right here.
Oh yeah, I remember we had to go to AutoZone to buy that tea.
Yeah.
This is Matthew. He was talking while we were trying to shoot video.
I'm a terrible person. I'm sorry.
But apparently he drinks
drink and I know
and
things.
know things.
Yes.
Nice.
So the other vacuum line on the truck goes to the fuel pressure regulator and to the blow-off valve. Other than that, you're going to cap off any, like this vacuum line right here is just for capping off. That's all. That's its only job.
Does that go to the throttle body?
Yep, goes to the throttle body down here.
All right.
I don't know if you can see it down there. But there's, basically you're just going to pull everything out. Your EGR, you're going to just delete it. There's 2 bolts that you can take off in the back. And you're going to build you a little block off plate. You're going to bolt it on there, put some silicone on it, call it good. This truck, and I didn't do this on the 240, but the butterfly valves in the intake, I just left them the way they are, and they default open. So you can do that, or you can delete them, which is probably the better idea. Just,
Can I see this block off plate back here?
yeah.
I just said black here.
It's hard to see, but
Let's see here.
you can see it down in there.
I'm looking. Oh, right there. Okay, I see where you have made a block off plate right here.
Yeah, right there.
Okay. I see you put some sort of sealant around it.
Yeah, there's just some RTV silicone stuff there. If you're not running a turbo and you have like a factory manifold, you're gonna have a pipe that comes out and runs behind the engine over for the EGR. And what I did is, instead of trying to find something to plug it, I just took it off, cut it a ways back, and then folded it over a bunch of times and clamped it together, the pipe. And that made a good enough seal to keep it from leaking exhaust. And that's what we put in there.
All right, this next question is from Broke Boy TJJ. It's on upgrading your manifold. You ever plan to do that? I think he was thinking that as it gets hot and cools down and gets hot and cools down, that it could break, it could crack.
I don't plan on it.
You have a cast manifold, right?
I do have a cast manifold, and from what I understand, cast manifolds do kind of crack from heat. So far, it's been fine. It's been daily driven for over a year, and it's been drifted on a couple times, and it's been fine. If something does happen, we can look at it going into something else. If we do that, it'll probably end up being a custom manifold, and we'll bring the turbo up to here. From what I understand, a lot of the 240 manifolds don't fit on the trucks because they get too close to the brake reservoir.
Broke Boy TJJ also wanted us to go over the custom exhaust.
The custom exhaust. So, originally the plan was to use a WRX downpipe here, but when I took my old downpipe to the fab shop, they ended up just making it work. They cut it a bunch of times and bent it onto a 2.5-inch pipe that came out of our turbo flange.
So this is the downpipe that you had coming off your T25.
Yeah.
And it just has a different inlet on it.
Yep. He cut it, shortened it, and put it on there.
And it just goes down there and turns straight back, 3-inch all the way back?
Yep, turns straight back, and then it runs under the truck, and we have it coming out the side right here.
Does that rattle or anything?
Oh yeah, it's noisy as crap. It's real noisy. The hole should be a lot bigger, but I don't care.
So was there plenty of room up under the hardbody to do other things, to like bring the exhaust straight to the back, or to take it out both sides, or take it out somewhere else?
There definitely is. And something that would be really cool is if you deleted your handbrake, you could run it actually up inside the frame rails all the way back, up above all the cross members and everything. And you can really keep it up tight on the truck.
And that just make it a straight pipe all the way back,
yeah, you
right?
can basically run it straight, and it'd come like straight out right here where my plate is. And you just literally have a straight pipe right off the turbo. It would just have to bend over the axle.
What's up with your license plate? Does this thing make that much horsepower?
Dude, it's pretty optimistic.
8,462? Really?
I mean, it might be a top fuel dragster. We don't know.
Alright, so the next question was from Brian Rivera.
Okay.
He's out of West Covina, California, and likes long walks on the beach and cotton candy.
We might have cotton
He was wondering if we could make a video on the lowering setup and the wheel and tire combo.
You've
been through a few, right? A few different sizes?
Yeah. These are kind of the wheels that have always been on the truck. The wheels that are on my Silverado used to be on this truck. Yeah, these are just D-windows. They're not Krager's, they're knockoffs that we got from American Tire Distributor.
Real drifters use knockoff everything.
Yeah.
You don't use legit anything if you're a real drifter.
Anyways, they're 17 by 9 or 9.5. I can't remember. My mom actually bought these for me for Christmas one year. I really wanted a set of wheels for the back of my truck, and these are what she got me.
That was nice of her.
I know, wasn't that awesome?
What about the offset on these things?
I have no idea, because my mom bought them for me. I don't know what they are. I assume they're a 0 offset. It would just make sense to me that that's what they would be, but maybe they're like a plus 25. I don't really know.
Okay, they just fit like you like.
Yeah, they just fit pretty good.
Well, alright.
I just told my mom like that I wanted 9.5-inch wide wheels, and that's what she gave me.
Okay, what about the fronts?
So, the fronts are 8 inches wide.
Still 17?
No, these are 16s.
Ah,
So we got
staggered.
16s up front, 17s in the back.
Legit.
8, 9s. Yeah, those are 9s actually. Those are 9s. And this is a 205 50 16 on here, which matches the rear. The profile on the side is. What's up, Levi? Really?
Hey, we're not doing anything. It's cool. What are you eating? You eating the cap to a brake cleaner bottle? Nice.
All right, get out of here.
Go and get, boy. Alright, about this lowering setup. It's low.
It's kind of low. It's not super low. It's definitely not crazy. On the front, it's just turn down torsion bars until you get it where you like it. With as soft as these trucks are, I recommend leaving your driver's side maybe 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch higher than the passenger side, so when you sit in it, it levels the truck out. Up front, we have bump stops cut out, which they were right here. See that? That's where the bump stop went. It was welded in there, and it would hit on the lower control arm. Or no, the upper control arm. I don't know, it hit somewhere. Anyways, and then right down here, I don't know if you can see this, there was a steering stop here that the hub would hit. We cut those out so we get a little more angle. We're running Ford, Pinto, or Mustang 2 front shocks because they have a built-in bump stop. So that allows you to cut out your bump stop and still have the safety of having a bump stop. And they fit. These ones, the collar inside the bottom mount was a little bit long, and I had to cut the collar off so that it would fit down in there. But some of them don't come that way. I don't know if that's the difference between the Mustang 2 and the Pinto, but yeah.
So what about the back?
The rear is re-drilled up front and chopped so that we don't have the hangers hanging down to grind on stuff. So right here is where the old bolt would go, and then obviously it's way back there. So we did that.
So why'd you do that? To get the leaf higher?
Yes, and by pulling the leaf up, it lowers the truck.
That makes sense.
I think it's supposed to be like 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches, somewhere in there. I don't think this truck dropped that much.
Okay.
I don't know why.
We don't care what you think. Just give us the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
And then back here, we have big old blocks. I think they're 4 inches or 4.5 inches.
Those are big blocks.
They're angled. You have to make sure you get angled when you're running a block this big so you keep your pinion angle correct on your differential, or else you're going to burn up your...
So the blocks actually have an angle to them?
Yeah, they're chopped on the top. They're not flat. They're chopped at an angle towards the front of the truck. So the front of the block will be shorter and the rear will be taller. so that it rotates the nose of the differential down. And then we have this 3/4 inch sway bar from Summit Racing on here.
Was that pretty easy to put on? Was it just bolt up?
It is just bolt up.
The holes are already there and everything?
Yeah. It's not exactly hard, but it's not exactly easy because you kind of put it on and then drive it around a little bit and then adjust exactly where it's going to go depending on how low your truck is. As far as right here, rotated around your
You look
your
weird
axle.
upside down.
I'm sure. So you have to adjust this right here. And then we have 2000 Quest shocks because we're re-drilled. If you just do blocks, you can run stock shocks because...
You said 2000 Quest?
Yeah,
as in Nissan Quest?
Yeah, Nissan Quest, a minivan.
All right. I just didn't want to, blast right by that and people not understand what you're talking about.
If you just run blocks, it doesn't actually change your mounting point for your shock. So you don't have to change your shock because it just moves the axle up. It doesn't move the leaf spring up.
Right. But
re-drilling does. So if you re-drill, you got to change shocks. If you just run blocks, you don't.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we have polyurethane bushings back here on our, whatever this is, our shackle. Make sure you don't over tighten it. When you put it back on, make sure you put it on with Loctite or lock nuts or something.
So it can swivel?
Exactly, so that it can move. This truck was real tight. I didn't know that. I didn't think about that.
Where'd you get these polyurethane bushings for the rear shackle?
Summit.
Oh, nice. So our next question is from CHB2. Rising rate fuel pressure regulator. Do you have one?
I do not. I run a stock fuel pressure regulator.
Do you need one?
I'm not going to say you need one, but I would advise putting one in. We're going to put one in this truck.
Because you need one. You specifically need one.
Yes, I do. My SAFC is maxed out. We're giving it all the fuel that the SAFC possibly can. We stay good. We're not running lean. We're still in the mid-11s.
Where's your fuel pressure regulator on this thing?
Right here.
Oh, there it is right there.
And because my truck is a 97, in 95, I do believe, it may be 96, they switched to side feed. Before that, they're all top feed, just like a 240.
The injectors?
Yeah. And on this truck, you can switch and you can run a 240 fuel rail here with top feed injectors. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just swap the intake, which we're going to make a video about. So let's go inside. I'll show you guys the tune on the SAFC.
You didn't give me a seat over here? What kind of crap is that? Dang. Do all this work with the camera. I don't even have a seat.
No seat. Oh,
Not even a bucket to sit on. Daggone.
Not even a bucket.
Dude, SAFCs are so extra because they do that.
It's funny. So, if we go here to settings and we look at our high throttle, you can see from about 6,500 RPMs all the way, we're maxed out. Now, the truck only revs to 7,000 or whatever it is.
No, that's maxed out on fuel that you're delivering to the engine?
Maxed out on fuel. And you can see that we're just super high. 15%, 16, 17, 18, up to 20% is what we're running through the rev range. And it's just adding a lot of fuel through the SAFC. So I'd like to put a rising rate fuel pressure regulator in here so we can tune this down some. We'll bring the pressure up, bring this down. That way we're relying on this less. I believe the SAFC is more accurate and you can tune better with this than you can with just running a rising rate fuel pressure regulator, but the combination of the two I think is the best cheap setup if you're not trying to go standalone or rewire your truck.
You eventually want to go standalone on this?
If we decide to make more power than what it's making right now or run more than 7 pounds, yeah.
Alright, so I haven't been an owner of a single cam 240 except for this one, which I sold to Ronnie, so I only had it briefly. But are these engine bays going to look similar when the 240 is turboed? Because you want to turbo the 240, right?
Yeah.
Are the engine bays going to look similar?
Yes. The differences is...
The differences are?
The differences is... the 240 uses an igniter and a coil to run the distributor. The truck, because it's a late model truck, it doesn't do that.
What does it use?
It's internally sparked.
Oh, okay.
So it has an igniter built into it. And it just runs this cam sensor and however it gets power, I don't know, this goes to the AC.
You're talking really quiet. I can't hear what you're saying. You're talking really quiet. I can't hear what you're saying.
Is this better? So another big difference is the Hardbody uses V-belts and the 240 uses serpentine style belts. It's pretty early serpentine technology, but they're like triple ribbed style V-belts, but it's
weird.
the start of serpentine belts.
All right.
So you can get pretty pulleys for 240s. You can't get pretty pulleys for hardbodies, but you can convert your hardbody to 240 pulleys and alternators and all that stuff.
These intake manifolds are obviously very different.
Much different. From what I understand, this intake manifold makes a little more horsepower, and the truck manifold makes a little more torque. That's what they were designed to do, being that it's a truck. If you have a Frontier and it has a dual cam, it's the same way with this kind of top-facing throttle body with this stupid big box that goes here.
God, that's weird.
Yeah, it is pretty weird. I don't understand it.
It just takes up a lot of space,
Yeah.
like for no
nothing.
reason.
Exactly. And it puts your throttle body in a dumb spot. It makes it hard to turbo your truck. It makes it hard to do a lot of things.
And this engine bay, this is a 97, right?
Yeah, this is a last year hard body.
And this is like a 90,
Yeah, that's a 90.
so that's later
Yeah.
and just looks dumb.
Everybody says that the 240 got a truck engine, but the truck actually got this engine after the 240 got rid of it. So technically, if you own a hard body, you have a sports car's engine. Just some food for thought there.
Where was the emission stuff in the 240 eBay? Excuse me.
eBay?
Where was the emission stuff in the 240 engine bay?
There was some stuff on this block-off plate that we made. There was some stuff back there. There was, I believe, some stuff here. Obviously, there's a vacuum line here, so I assume there was something there. You see that?
Yeah.
These vacuum lines did something. Now they just go to each other and they don't do crap.
This is what happens when you delete emissions and EGR off a 240. You just start taking stuff off and see if the car still works. And if it does, you just throw that stuff away.
Yeah, you just literally take everything off and then see how many vacuum leaks you have and fix the vacuum leaks. Just make sure you leave your fuel pressure regulator hooked up. That's the only one that matters.
So as far as actual technical, factual data we have on emissions and EGR, there really isn't any. We just
Pull it off.
pull it off, and if the car still runs, send it.
That's it, man.
This is what we look like trying to focus our camera all the time.
We're like way up in here.
Yeah.
But it works, so.
Well, that was it. That was us answering a few questions that we had on our YouTube channel. I hope it was informative. Yeah, if you have any more questions or requests of things you want to see on our channel, just post it up, man. We're always listening. We're always reading.
Just doing this all the time. That's
Whatever. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see
you
y'all
guys.
later.